Welcome back. Howdy gang, this is Killer Ginger 1 and you are watching my Legions of Nagash Total War Warhammer 3 Let's Play. As we left off, we just finished our first battle of the campaign. Pretty easy, but you know, not going to be the last obviously. And we finished off some admin for the Nagash keep. We have Places of Death. It's going to be for our great rituals. So, we are now going to proceed on to the desolation of Nagash, and hopefully get there soonish. We had a few, believe it or not, after the turn, we had a skill point to apply. I think the very first thing we're going to get is this 8th book of Nagash, which just gives it to us. Kind of broken, but you know. Whatever. It gives you one heck of a hex around the enemy post-battle, including all of these wonderful incomes. We're going to need that because we're going to be doing lots of battles in the 4. He automatically equips it too, which is very nice. That's it. That's just, man. He looks so goofy. They did a really good job of that. So we are going to end the turn and see how this fares. So originally I wanted this to do a one turn at a time thing, but obviously I don't think you guys would appreciate me splitting this up into 3-minute videos, but the whole idea is to provide bite-sized videos that are a little bit easier to watch, in my opinion. Don't know very many people who are willing to sit down and watch 2-3 hours of me playing the same game. It gets kind of tiring. So we're going to continue on to the desolation, and now we get to really start building our settlement up. Of course, we want the income, we want the growth. I think the Necropolis Knights have always been great, and the Sepulchral Stalkers ranged has always been good. We're not short, we're not hurting for building slots at all. Hex Wraiths would be fun. A Mortis engine is always nice. Gives your combatants regeneration in a passive area, which would be great when we're stacking up horde damage. Reliquary of Destruction makes it so that anybody around us who's not a friend starts taking moderate damage. Not insane, but every little bit helps, especially when your front line has a melee attack at 20. Except, of course, the Skeleton Reapers, which are fantastic and will continue to do so. I believe we are going to get defenses because we need them. Now, of course, there's the issue with siege battles and being broken. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If it's a fun battle to watch, I think we can forgive some indiscrepancies with it. Or I'll just have to do a really terrible siege defense where I just constantly zoom in all the time like, hey, what's going on over here? By the way, this is a fantastic looking keep right here. I love it. So yeah, we're going to end the turn and get stuck in on the next one. There he is. There's Imric, the Dragon Prince of the Badlands, who is one of the most dangerous legendary lords currently on our border. He's just going a little ghost there, but you know, c'est la vie. Hopefully this campaign doesn't have any issues. Originally I tried this, I had a big old mod compilation, a lot of ZC, animations, customized unit models, all that. I absolutely love his work. If you don't know who he is, he makes a really good Empire compilation mod, which makes them look real ragtag and awesome. Highly recommend it. Problem is that I had a crash after turn 1, so I'm hopefully with a mod list of just 3 supporting mods and 1 AI mod, the game will decide to be nice to me, and we can actually have a campaign to play. I think the very first thing we're going to do is not necessarily training. We don't need training. That's what the battles are for. We're going to focus on his damage because he's going to be my anti-lord, anti-hero unit, since I don't have anything really that can answer the legendary lords or hero units. So we're going to get stuck in. Fortunately for us, this is a very minor settlement battle, but it is, of course, a battle. It's not even a settlement battle. It needs to be tier 3 in order to do that. But, being as it's the second battle of the campaign, we'll play it out. We'll see if it's interesting. I will see you all on the battlefield. Alrighty, gang. Second battle, Desolation of Nagash. Of course, we want to have our Desolation because we're going to have the Warpstone from it. We're going to start off real quick with a simple defensive line. Useless units in the front, semi-useless units in the back. This faction is definitely hurting for ranged damage, but fortunately against the Skaven it doesn't really matter. We have this lovely bit of territory right here to protect our left flank, and we got our bony boys with the lovely Reapers here defending our right flank. We'll see how well we do. Fortunately, it's just a bunch more clan rats, no shields, no girls, no nothing, just little sharp pointy sticks. Just going at it. These poor guys have been sent to die. We're going to focus our range units primarily on, because we've already proven we can beat them in melee, we're going to keep our range units primarily on the other range units to mitigate damage to our own forces. And look at these guys go. I said they don't do a whole lot of damage, but I guess I was mistaken. They have a lovely aerial effect. Just having a good old time playing some DDR on those ratmen. Fortunately for us, our zombie horde is going to be doing a great job at just tanking damage. They were pretty sneaky here trying to get our archers, but fortunately for me I had the reserves of the guard, the Nagash guard, which are head over shoulders better, and they'll make short work of that summon unit, especially since it decays over time. As soon as its morale goes, it starts to crumble. The most fragile of the Ratman forces. But there's our old Scythe Bony boys there in the midst of battle, staring aggressively at the Ratmen. Not really sure what they're going to do next. This is the point in the battle that kind of made me nervous, because if we're already starting to experience morale shocks, we're going to have a hard day's work ahead of us, because that morale, if you don't know, with undead factions, when the morale starts to break, the unit starts to take crumbling, which starts killing it. And if it goes all the way down or loses all its health bar, eventually it will just delete the unit. So morale is a very important aspect of the undead, which unfortunately has no relation and no impact on how much Winds of Magic reserve you still have for your forces. Unfortunately, because Nagash's spells are so expensive, it is very difficult to justify using them, at least for right now. So we're not going to see a whole lot of his spells, but fortunately in the later parts of the campaign we will. It's a pretty straightforward romp. We're just going to be sitting here poking at each other until one of us runs away. but I figured it would be. There you go. There's more. That what is that? What's that spell called? Is that like the Dark Abyss or Swarm or something like that? I would prefer if it had a better directional path to it, because kind of like a vortex, it just goes all over the place. But you know, the Ratmen are starting to break under the weight of our undying legions, and of course, good old Steinberg is poking at the assassin rat, who does not like that very much. He does not like getting poked with a rusty sword. Tetanus is definitely a worry in the Warhammer world. Curiously enough, though, he's not going to take that as his cue. Even though he can outrun our White Lord, or White King, sorry, he decides not to. Not until we get the rest of our forces chasing after him in this Benny Hill rendition. Fortunately for us, though, our White King has enough armor to protect himself. Oh my, look at that somersault. The Ratkin Olympics has left the building. With that, that proves the end of this second battle, and a very simple one at that. I'll see you all on the battle map, or the campaign map. Alrighty, gang. I apologize, I accidentally fat-fingered my way through the ending of the results, but to 300 losses on our side to 800 on their side, we have managed to successfully take the Desolations of Nagash. One thing I'm coming to realize here is just how terrible my morale is for undead, ironically enough. This place, I want it. Alright, let's take it then. There we go, that's the first step on the road to victory. The legions rise, fresh yet ancient, bloody this battalion by sending them against the nearby Skaven. We've completed that, we get some money from it. Of course, Clan Carrion is the faction that we just destroyed, obviously. Got ourselves a retainer. Fire resistance, that's not good, but physical resistance is always good. Hopefully now the enemies have fire. Okay, now we can unlock Archon as the Mortarch. Nagash Rising 5, beginning the trek. Your power grows evermore. With the reconquest of your desolation and the marching of your legion, a missive is sent your way from a familiar face, Archon the Black, your most loyal servant. He's just on the other side of the world's edge. Having sensed your power, there's a tunnel system that will take you to him, and then the legions can march on the Black Pyramid. So we definitely want to go capture the Black Pyramid. That's what this is, this little teleport here, which is technically a tunnel. A very chaotic Tzeentchian tunnel, but in fact, oh, that's just the trees. For a minute there I thought it had tentacles out of it. I'm not sure Nagash would want to deal with a tentacle tunnel, but, you know. Alright. I'm not gonna... Ooh. Opportunity for more skeleton reavers, we might want that. But we're going to save our money. We need to administer this settlement here. So, being these secondary settlements, the thing with Nagash is he doesn't really have a whole lot here in terms of like these lower tier settlements here. His capitals are the main thing. That's why they get so many building slots. But he does get to build something on them. Growth, casualty replenishment rate, vampiric corruption, and more growth. Campaign movement range of enemy armies, that might be good, especially when we start getting stuck in, because we are going to be at war with a lot of factions, and if we can actually catch up to them, that'll be great. And a little bit of money, a little bit of money. That's almost not even worth it. 950. What is that like? Even more than 12 turns before you can break even on a building? No thanks. But Warpstone load, Nagash's most valuable resource. Glowing ghouls. Oh no. And vampiric corruption. So we're gonna take this one because we want more weird stone warpstone, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, we cannot afford any of the other buildings in this settlement. I've already built those ones. Recruitment buildings. I think we're going to need better infantry. Probably tomb guards. Nagash is going to want something. But we'll have to do that at a later time because we do not have the money. So, before we go into the portal and cross the World's Edge Mountains, I believe it spits us out somewhere over here. Which is nice. We don't have to deal with mountain walking. Not like it makes that much of a difference. We are going to try and focus on our last goal this episode is going to be taking Bitter Bay. So we're going to end the turn. We're going to assign our skill points. I think we're going to need training, if anything, just to get the leadership of our units up. That battle we had a lot of wavering leadership, which is kind of scary, especially since we're fighting the weaker faction. Skaven are really weak early game. Ooh. Siphon Soul Eater. Large strong versus a single unit. That could be good killing legendary lords. Summons a unit of Black Knights. That would be very useful early on. Call of the Grave. It's just dump a whole bunch of zombies and crypt ghouls. That'll be useful. I think we're going to get the Black Knights right now because cavalry in this game is king. You haven't seen it yet, but cavalry has insane breakthrough now. Any sort of shock cavalry and whatnot, they just, even if you're braced, you stand a bit of a chance, but man. Fortunately for us, our Winds of Magic power reserve is almost full. So we're going to end the turn here, and hopefully, by the end of this episode, we are going to have claimed Bitter Bay from the Ravenous Ratmen. I would skip the end turn timer, but being as this is the base game, CA has been pretty good about making these relatively quick. So we shouldn't have to deal with that. Now, if this was like the Old World campaign, unfortunately Legions of Nagash does not work on the Old World campaign. If you don't know, the Old World campaign takes the Old World and just explodes it into millions of provinces. You go from about 278 factions, which is what the base game starts with, to 440 or something like that. It's absolutely insane. And with that added AI in faction input, it becomes even worse. Oh wow. So if we're in melee with our zombies, they get a moderate regeneration. That's pretty crazy. We have an unusual sight in Nagazishar. That could be good or bad. Ooh, that is that is a good one. So do we have to worry about? Yeah, not terrible, but not great. So this game allows you to have multiple different types of corruption at the same time. Obviously, we want Vampire Corruption. We don't want Skaven Corruption because it's going to make people really angry at us. But, for the sake of 20 research rate, I think we are going to keep it. Meanwhile, let's get started over to Bitter Bay. Oh, we got another skill point. So we can pick out bonuses we want for specific factions. Obviously, a personal vendetta. Nagash originally got killed by the Skaven before he could complete his ritual, and before he came back, that's why it's a personal vendetta. The Anathema of Chaos. We don't like chaos. Chaos doesn't like us. Obviously, if everyone is dead, there's no one to worship chaos. I think, out of all of them, better than better than focusing, and of course, despotic domination. We don't like the Tomb Kings. The Tomb Kings scared us off from our lands. We don't like that, so we are going to take vengeance on them. So the Tomb Kings are Egyptian skeletons, to put it plainly. Obviously, that's a round off, a simplification of their faction, but we are playing a identical faction in terms of we don't pay upkeep for our units. We just pay for the buildings, which is what we want. We don't want to spend money on this silly little cannon fodder of an army we got. We want to spend all that money on building massive buildings that get us even more powerful cannon fodder. With Nagash, we want to take the Black Pyramid, which is in Khemri, which is across the World's Edge Mountains, over where I keep showing you the Fog of War, expecting you to see what's going on over there. Of course, we don't have the Black Pyramid because we lost. In the lore, I believe we were right at the precipice of committing our great ritual and poisoning the world. Obviously, their version of Warhammer's version of the Nile has run red. That is our doing. We've poisoned it to kill off a lot of them and to turn them into undead slaves. We're going to speed this up a little bit. We wanted to expand our domain. I think our very first lord. Knowledge of the first book. Oh, cavalry, that would be fun. And Skullstorm. Ooh, that looks pretty good. So Trader Kings are our version of Tomb King lords. Each Tomb King is their own dynastic head. When Vanguard deployment, all units. Oh, that'd be kind of crazy. And plus, we don't have a Necromancer Lord. But this guy right here. Ooh, that would be a good one. This guy right here, Spell Mastery. Holy crap. Okay, so we get a lot of bonuses that I was not prepared for. I like the research rate for right now.
Follow me.
I think we're going to focus on that real quick. Oh, they do have upkeep. Curious. I guess it's at a reduced cost, or maybe the recruit. Yeah, so it doesn't cost anything to recruit, but it does cost an upkeep. It looks like. Yeah. Bone Golems are obviously. I mean, look at those stats. They don't have anything in attack. They have some decent weapon strength. They're pretty terrible at melee attack, so they're not going to be hitting off a lot, but
My bloodline calls.
we're going to focus on making a garrison for our lord. We want doggos. Doggos would be good. We definitely want to start hemming in ranged units. We're going to need a lot more ranged units if we're going to be holding this settlement. Some zombies and skeletons will hold off the hordes. I think we're going to want more bone throwers and bone golems for Nagash. More damage dealers instead, just a whole line of fodder, because that's not going to last past clan rats, I'll tell you that. Especially if we start going up against dwarfs. Yeah, they're not gonna like that at all. But yeah, we're gonna go over to Bitter Bay, hopefully. Nagash's beach house. So with Nagash in the ritual, I'm not that good of a lore dumper, so bear with me here. He was at his Black Pyramid. He was going to do the ritual, And it looks like those dwarves, yep. Well, shoot. We're going to have to deal with them. Well, this might be bad, but we're going to go to war with the dwarves early. This is going to be very bad. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see if we can actually handle any of this. This might be the end of the campaign early. I have zero faith in our ability to do any amount of damage to these guys. We can try and get Bitter Bay, or we can bravely, Sir Robin, run away and start the other part of the campaign, which is to cross the World's Edge Mountains and to get to Archon. I think our best bet is not going to be stuck in an early game war with the dwarves where all of our units could barely even come up to... I mean, look at this. Dwarf warriors, 22 and 40, armor of 85. Our archers ain't going to scratch that. Our bone golems are barely going to fling them around a little bit. I think the skeleton reapers are going to do something. But our zombies, get out of here. We're not going to do anything to that.
My will alone.
We're going to skip his turn. He's just a garrison lord.
This better be important.
I think Nehekara warriors might be good for us. We're going to start marching back from whence we came, unfortunately, for the exhilarating content I have laid before you today. And we're going to focus on the teleport, and we're going to see what's on the other side.
What do you want?
Upgrade that. Turn. So, with the Black Pyramid, Nagash was about ready to complete his ritual. Don't ask me the timeline. I have no idea. It was, I think it was before Sigmar, honestly, because the Tomb Kings go back, they were like one of the first, unless recently with Cathay being an accepted faction now. They were one of the first empires of man, and being as they're undead with multiple dynasties, they were a very long-lived faction. You know what? I'm thinking. With our plus 10 faction-wide research rate, do we really need the plus 20? I mean, we will, because anyone who uses Mortarks hits us with a minus 15, which is absolutely brutal. And we're going to need as much research rate as we can. It's just whether or not we can survive. I mean, we can definitely hold this position, and rebellions always spawn in the capital of the province, I believe. Don't hold me to it. But we are going to see. Definitely, though, vampire corruption is going to help, but Skaven corruption is going to absolutely destroy us.
What do you want?
We're definitely going to want to recruit more, skeleton archers, because skelly archers are going to be our best friend in defending this wonderful territory we have. But I keep getting sidetracked. ADHD brain is not a friend of ours. We definitely don't like the Tomb Kings. Nagash was originally a Tomb King courtier, whatever you want to call him. He was one of the lords, pharaohs of the Tomb Kings. Put him up to the task of becoming a great necromancer, I believe. Finding the... not necromancer, no one likes turning the undead, but they definitely like immortality, which is what they proposed he'd do. And of course, learning evil magic makes you an evil man with a particularly evil bony hat, he
Yes.
did not like that. Or he became eviler, I guess you could say. I don't know if he was originally a good guy or what the deal was, but he definitely wasn't a good guy after the fact. So, once he started unlocking his necromantic powers, which only really came into effect after he died, I think he was still relatively living when he poisoned the Tomb King's Great Nile, the Little Blood River. And, uh-oh. Oh, this might be to our benefit. Well, if they're fighting each other, they're not fighting me, so I'm alright with that. But, with the, with his untimely death and his retreat to Crimson Peak, eventually he became like a little demon soul creature. And we're not going to worry about the rebellion because I believe with... Oh yeah. This is a better army than what Nagash has. Yeah, he'll be fine. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. We're going to disable the garrison, lord notifications, the hero, outpost available. We're gonna do all that because that's annoying to have to scroll through. Oh, our warpstone output has gotten better. I just saw that we had 5 warpstone, which will be good for the future. But after he died, he came to Crimson Peak, which is where he became an actual lich demon thing. And with that came his untimely demise by the hands of the Skaven, because they took warpstone and turned it into an assassin's blade, and I think they killed him in the middle of his ritual or something like that. But he was the closest to ending the world.
What do you want?
Ooh, this would be kind of interesting. Alright, so first things first, we are going to send Nagash through the portal. We're going to traverse rifts. And our other rift, the Dark Passage, the tunnel, is going to land us right down into the border of the Tomb Kings next to Quatar. Quatar. The Legion grows with your trusted servant at your side. He's prepared for you a ritual of ascension to bring you back into your most powerful form, but it must be enacted within the Black Pyramid. March on and destroy your former guardians turned rabid. Okay. Your power grows evermore. With the reconquest of your desolation and the marching of your legion, a missive is sent your way. Oh, we just reread that. Whoops. Okay. So very first thing it does is it unlocks the Mortarch of Archon, which is what we want. We want to get Archon on site. He's a very bony boy. He's our best chance. So, the Black Pyramid, obviously, we want to go there. Evidently, these were our guys, but they went mad. This is going to be a brutal fight ahead. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to see if we can take it. First things first, though, we are going to take Quatar. We need a foothold in these lands. But, in the interim of all that, Umar Helstein is going to lead his forces against the... No, he's not. He's not indeed, because he's outside the reach of the garrison. Well, we can do one of two things. We can bravely run away. Let's try an ambush. Hopefully. We won't let them get so powerful that they just murder us, but we'll see how this turns out, because this has become a lot more interesting. And oh my goodness. Alright, well, we got the world's most powerful one-man army just declared war on us. This is going to be something else. This campaign has turned into an absolute treat already. I am a professional, and these are my professional habits to declare war on all of my neighbors as a silly, sad, bony boy. But good old Scarbrand. Oh, joy. This is... Okay, so, wonder what the Ogrins are going to do. Hopefully they're not going to be mad at us. Excuse me? We got an imposter. What? What? Did you all just see... You saw that too, didn't you? A imposter Nagash elite... Oh my goodness, we got a lot of regiments of renown just then. Oh. Oh my. Well, I feel a little bit better about where we landed off at. So that means we picked up Archon. I don't... No, we didn't pick up any of his settlements, unfortunately for us. But now Archon is here, and he is destroying our economy. So the very first thing we're going to do with Archon is we are going to take him and get him set up to go to war with Quatar. I want leadership aura because our troops have terrible leadership. Ooh. That'll be useful. Spirit leash as well. We definitely want him to have... Oh, that'll be useful. Casket of Souls. We want casualty replenishment rate. We want Spirit Leash. We want Curse of Undeath. We'll get him some melee. He might need it. And we are going to... We got a little bit of cash before the end of the end here. We're gonna spend that cash. Now we have 6 turns of it. We're gonna spend that cash to give him a decent enough army, which we cannot move because he has no movement range. Oh my goodness! All right, this is a great start. Absolutely empirical start. So these two are gonna do that. They're gonna do a little 1-2 punch. We're gonna try and get Nagash over to the choke point bridge, so that way he doesn't get swarmed by a horde, which I guarantee you is gonna have Ushabti. Ushabti are nasty creatures. Definitely something we don't have a response to. I guess the only good thing about our position right now is the vampiric corruption is causing the attrition of the rebellion army. So we're just gonna sit here and hope and pray that they go away very quickly. I guess the other side effect of this is, of course, when you have a rebellion active, you get a permanent +20 to your control, which means irregardless of how the settlement feels about you, you are going to be recovering your popularity, public order, whatever you want to call it, a lot quicker. Now with that, we have no money available to... that'll be useful. Reinforcement range will be very useful for our hordes. Oh man, this is already off to a great start. We're going to see how well this pans out for us in this turn. Hopefully I can get one more battle in before the end of this episode. It's looking like I'm kind of running overtime. I know I just said I want light, bite-sized videos, but we will see. I might split this into 2 parts. Off he goes. Metastorm who comes up with these names? Metastorm. Not very meta of you to be sitting there taking attrition by me, but you know, c'est la vie. Oh, here we go. Settlement has been besieged. So, real quickly, we're going to run our boys off on this side of the river. We're going to hold this river crossing. Hopefully they do have enough movement range to come and attack us. We're going to hope that Archon has enough stuff to take this, and we're going to end this episode with the Battle of Quatar. We're going to see how well we can do against their horde of bony boys, but we got our own horde of bony boys, plus we have a Tomb Scorpion. I'm looking forward to using that in the battle. I will see you all there. Alrighty. Nagash's first battle, or not Nagash, sorry, Archon, the Black's first battle. They gave him quite a good starting stack. Him on his, is that a camel? No, that's a horse. I'm blind. I'm sorry. We got ourselves quite an interesting assortment. Of course, the very first thing we cannot deny is how cool the Tomb Scorpion looks. This is one of those animations that CA really outdid themselves on. Unfortunately, I missed the initial charge, but his ability to hide underneath the sands and just disrupt formations is always going to be excellent. We're just going to get stuck in here at Quatar, hopefully destroy the garrison. The only worry is the archers, which are just peppering us right now because I completely forgot in my excitement to see the Tomb Scorpion work. Our chariots were a thing. And this is where I'm going to tell you about mass, the new mass mechanics. I mean, look how brutal this charge is. There's no formation left. Surprisingly, though, that does not kill them. But we are going to keep disrupting their formation and hopefully get their skeleton archers on the back foot to where they don't do as much damage as they can to our army. With that, Tomb Scorpion's just going to keep on poking at them. They managed to get their spearmen in, which is probably going to be their best unit because they have a bonus versus large, but is that going to be enough damage to take them out? I don't really think so. With that, battle is joined. Look at our lovely horde. They're just loving life. Now that we have that retainer, I think we're going to focus on a zombie horde, because regeneration on your zombies in combat sounds like an excellent thing to put on a zombie plus lodestone plus all the undead vampire count faction carts that do all that sort of health and damage to combatants. Just a big old ball of demons. I can't remember the legendary lord's name, but he has a whole thing about zombies. And in the lore, he has his brothers pulling his corpse cart, which is very old hammer. They're not going to stay too long. Oh dear, this is what I forgot. Just like the Skaven, the Tomb Kings have the ability to summon the unit, and these are those Ushabti I'm telling you about, and look how brutal they are. Doesn't take long for our skeleton archers to regret the day they decided to join this battle. Seeing that, catching that on the back foot, I'm going to send our chariots over to hopefully try and pull them out. I'm trying to get these skeletons to run away, but as you can see, now that they took that huge morale penalty, they are crumbling. It's just a matter of time whether or not we can kill enough of these guys to end this battle quickly enough so that we don't lose that skeleton archer unit. The chariots are going to do what they can, though I don't think chariots are a good matchup against Ushabti. Fortunately, being a summoned unit, they have their own morale issues. And with that, they disintegrate, and that ends the battle, hopefully saving that archer unit. See you on the battle map. Alrighty, gang. So that was a pretty easy battle, except up to the very end there. We got very lucky with saving our skeleton archers. Just like with the Skaven, the Tomb Kings have the nasty ability to spawn units in your back line, which is what I was not remembering when whose Shopti came in and absolutely destroyed those skeleton archers' day. With that, we are going to occupy Quatar, and we're going to get a little bit more money off the top. Just a little bit to help ease the blow of having no money. With that, of course, Archon the Black has his own horde buildings, which we are going to very quickly, very cheaply build. Just to get him a little bit of money and casualty replenishment rate. We might just have to. Oh, this is gonna be a tough decision here. We might have to get rid of one of these armies just to keep ourselves in the green for right now. Those guys are good over there. We're gonna also, I think. Oh, this is close. This is close. Hopefully, we'll be able to answer this battle here. We're going to see how well we do. We're going to add the third battle in on this one. But that'll be saved for next time. So thank you all for watching, and we'll have a very interesting battle ahead of ourselves in the next episode. Stay tuned.